correspondence from Big Lakes County. Can we get a motion on this one? Go ahead.
That we received the county's, Big Lakes County's council appointments for information.
All right, any discussions on this one? No, all in favor? Carried. Moving on to the next letter from the county. Get a motion on this?
Is this a letter that we sent to them or they sent to us?
Well, it's the same letter.
It's the
One
same
on
letter,
December
one on their
31st.
letterhead and one on our letterhead.
So,
I'm just, sorry, I'm just looking at the bottom because the Big Lakes County one has our David's name at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're exactly the same except for the dates.
Yeah, that does make sense that there's something, a Big Lakes County, letter.
Are you able to see both now?
See High Prairie on top there. Oh, they put it there, I see.
You know what it probably is, they're probably just copying and pasting. So how about
We'll just receive for information.
yeah, because, we support that stuff.
but
But we
we
gotta,
get
Do
the
we make a
county to
motion?
clarify that.
That we support this letter actually, as opposed to receiving for information, so it can be signed and shipped out.
well, we'll support ours.
Yes. So can we get a motion to that effect? Councilor Waco? That,
Yeah, we
approving
support
the
the signing
CEO
letter.
to sign the
Yeah.
letter, okay? Discussion on that?
Okay, just a minute.
Because it says, it does say their letterhead that we, the town, are supporting them. It says the same thing in both, really, if you look.
It does,
It does
it's
say-
exactly the
yeah.
same, it's copied and pasted. But I think the bottom line to this is Big Lakes County is applying on a grant, and we're sending in a letter to say that we support that grant. And do you know exactly what the enabling Housing Choice North is looking to do?
And did we get an explanation? Maybe I wasn't at the meeting.
I did.
Okay. You didn't get an explanation of why the enabling housing, like, is that for people with disabilities? What is that for?
This is my understanding, and it could be totally out to lunch. Okay, I'm not 100% sure at all, but there is a group that will come out and look at your community and what your housing needs are, and make recommendations on how to move forward. I believe that's what this grant is. That they're saying, you know what, we want to get this grant, they'll look at what housing is needed, and we know that we need some, more housing in our community, especially rental housing. So I think we're safe to say, yeah, go ahead and get that grant, and they'll look at Big Lakes, but also include High Prairie in that, because that's a big part of their community or their
So
County.
will they engage with people that have land that would be good to use for building and stuff like that?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what they do with this study.
Because I think, if we're working in the best interest of our community members, we need to be making sure that people are identifying those that have land that would be good for housing projects and stuff, are being notified, right? That they could connect with them.
And they maybe do it, I don't know what exactly they do with this study and what they come out with. And I'm not, again, I've heard of that group that'll do that study. I'm not sure if this is the name of it, but I just, because of what they talked about in here, I think it's the same group. And they're applying on a grant to get that housing study done. And they just wanted a letter of support to help with that application. Any other discussion on this? I'm not sure where we ended up with a motion on this one. That we were gonna support that, this letter and
Yeah.
approve the CAO to sign it.
Yeah.
That was where we were at,
Yes.
and you made that one?
I did.
Okay. Any other discussion on it? All in favor? It's carried. And moving on to Lesser Slave Lake Watershed Council, can I have a motion on this? Go ahead.
That council approve any council members wishing to attend the watershed management conference held in Grand Prairie.
Okay. Discussion on this one?
Should,
Yeah, go ahead.
should maybe be the two counselors that are on the water board thing? That's Sasha and you, Donna, or is it Trix or
John,
John
well,
was,
John?
there's only
John,
one on the Watershed Council.
but that's Sasha now.
okay, well, then I think that, this is, kind of part and parcel of that committee, so I would say authorize Councilor Sasha there to go to this.
That's not the motion.
No, that's not the motion, because this is a very informative, it's, actually, all the council should go, because it's informative on what our watershed does and how it works and everything else. So I'm sticking to my motion that any council
Okay.
member who wishes to attend.
And,
Who is, so, are we still in discussion?
yeah,
We're in discussion of it.
Who is paying the fee? It's $225.
That'll come out of council's budget.
Okay.
I know we talked about it.
yeah, and that's Tuesday, Wednesday, I just have to see the days it was.
Councilor Danaka?
So, and just based on Judy's motion, if there's anybody that wants to attend, should get a hold of the CAO to book the motels, cause it says, $149 a night until January 31st to register the, whoever's going and book the hotel rooms.
Councilor Martins?
So last year, Vern and I attended, it was in, it was just a different location, it was in the Grand Prairie area, it was at a different casino, the name escapes me now. But it wasn't, they've extended some of their format, and I did present council report, so they've changed the format a little bit, but it was part of the WPAC. So I'm not sure if one of your staff, like last year, are attending as well. I am available to go, and I would go if council would approve that.
Well, the motion is for anybody.
Okay, any other discussion on it? All in favor? It's carried. And moving on to 15.1, we need a date for budget deliberations. Maybe pull out your camera or your phones, see what dates would be available, and then we can pick a date. I'll ask our CEO, did you have a tentative date in mind?
No, Shanda didn't suggest a date, it's up to council, it's most convenient, she's ready to go.
Okay. So throw it open, council, when are people available, and when would you like to meet?
The 20th is a good evening for me.
It's not for me. I've got another meeting that night, Community Health Foundation. 21st,
Nope. The,
22nd,
nope,
23rd,
nope. 25th,
No. Unless it's in the evening.
27th,
I'm good on the 27th.
yeah, 27th works for me also.
I'll do the 27th.
Anybody, 27th going once?
Can this 27th meeting be remote, because I will be out of town on the 27th. I know, it sucks to do budgets online, but I am available.
Are you back on the 29th? Does the 29th work?
Yeah, there's some tournament, I don't know if I'm sure we're not back in the tournament.
Oh, okay.
The 20th would be great, 21st would be great, like this coming week would be great, but I know that some of you aren't available.
Okay,
But the 20th was no good for you, right?
And 21st, not good for you either?
No, 21st was no good for Donna,
Oh,
or,
yeah,
27th, it's the day before a council meeting, we can do the heavy lifting on the Monday and slam the door shut on the Tuesday.
yeah, because that's evening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The meeting. Okay, are we good with the 27th then? It's not the date for you, but
Right, but I'll
there's
do it.
nothing else that week you're available either, right?
No, the whole week of this coming week I'm available.
Yeah, but not the week after.
Right, so if your administration could just send out a link, that'd be great.
Okay, so I'll make the motion that we meet on January 27th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers, special meeting regarding budget. All in favor? Carried. Moving on to our written and verbal reports, Councillor Danaka,
no report.
Councillor Dunn.
Just, I'll have more information. Santa's Little Helper, we, provided for 46 families and, but a lot more seniors this year and a lot more children this year. So, I'll have the actual numbers in, next meeting. But that's it, and, I give my report for verbal, information.
All right, thank you for that. Any questions, comments for Councillor Dunn? All right, all in favor? Carried. Councillor Martins?
No report.
All right, moving on to myself. I did have a couple of meetings. Heart River Housing had actually two meetings with them. One was a regular board meeting. And that was kind of a somber one because one of the board members had passed away just before the meeting, or no, he didn't pass away, it was after the meeting, but he had just had a massive stroke and has since passed away, so it was a little somber on that one. The hiring committee met and they have got a lot of applications for their CAO position. They had 86 when we met, but the competition doesn't close until the 22nd, I think. So we're expecting 100 or so applications for that, and going over all of the, the contracts and the wage grade, all of the stuff that we went through, and we're getting ready for ours. So that was all gone through with them. I had a meeting with Inca, and they were, Jennifer presented a summary of the reports that were done and were ANCA paid for and got done. So she gave a summary, and it was just for the members on the board at this point, but she is going to come around to all of the councils and give a presentation on that. But she wanted all of the members of ANCA to get a chance to see the report, see if they had any issues with the report before she brought it to the council. So she will be coming to our council sometime in the future to talk about mental health and addiction study, the tourism study, and the housing study. I just want to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming meetings, because it's kind of interesting one. Next week is the Joint Rec Committee, but, and also I have a meeting with the regional prosecutor for the region, and it ties in with the RCMP, and we talked before about trying to get the prosecutor on board to see if they would agree to treat 3 or 4 of our, troubled people in our region, and really focus on getting them and hitting them with the full extent of the law. So we'll find out if they're even amenable to doing that, but that's what they had done in Valley View a while ago. So we'll see if anything comes out of that. So we'll know at the next council meeting if it goes, but I would like to see if they are interested getting, we had that email from the Citizens on Patrol group, and we have a few troublesome people, getting them to identify them and then focus with RCMP, our bylaw officers, to deal with them. I also got an interesting email from the new CEO of primary care for the Alberta government. So no longer, as we know, AHS has been dismantled into their 5 pillars. The one pillar is primary care. She reached out and said, I'd like to have a meeting just to discuss what's going to happen when this transfers over, specifically around the clinic and how that was going to work. And so with that, I'll move my report for information.
I was just wondering, have you, in talking with a prosecutor or talking with people around that whole thing, can there be charges laid to people that purchase stuff if it is seen stolen? So if the pawn shop over there ends up having stolen property, are they charged, or do they just have to give it back? Or what's
My understanding is that the pawn shop guys have, they'll check, because if they have to give it back or they're found to have stolen property in their business and they get seized, they're out that money that they paid for it. So they tend to want to check before they get it, or at least that's what at the meeting that we had, that open house on crime in their area, the pawn shop owner got up and said that's why they want to check, because they could lose money if it's found to be stolen and it gets claimed, then they're out whatever they purchased it for. Councillor Daneka.
Do you know when that meeting is with the primary care people? Did they say?
Yes, let me check here. I can tell you it was the 23rd, I believe, next Thursday. And I could ask if we can open that up to others, like she just reached out to me, but I could certainly, if anybody wants to attend, I could see if it's available for others. It's sort of her meeting, not mine, but she reached out. But if anybody wants to attend, let me know, and I'll see if we can share because it is on Teams, so it is accessible, and it's at, let me just see here, 1:30, the meeting's at 1:30. Councilor Martins.
Have we heard anything back about the physician, what's it called, tour, this coming?
No, there's no date yet. were gonna try and pick a date. So, yeah, that's a good point, I didn't mention that, but there's a new physician that's coming to town to take a look around, so we're looking for a date to go, and I basically said, you pick a date and we'll have somebody there to help tour them around, and they also wanted some information on real estate in the community, so I sent them an email with numbers to our 3 real estate companies and said, yeah, any one of these would work, they can contact any one of them, and they'd be happy to show them properties in town.
Well, that's good news, because there's no doctors taking patients, even the ones that had a doctor that left, so that's, yeah, good news.
Well, again, that's just one step, they gotta be willing to take them on and
It's a
everything
step.
else, but at least it's a good first step, I agree, yeah. All right, I move my report for information, all in favor? Carried. Moving on, Councillor Stenhouse.
I have no report, but I have a request that we change the date from November 10th to January 14th of this agenda.
What? Oh!
All right, yeah, that's a good.
Bailey?
Okay, so moving on, Councillor Winkle.
None of my committees met, but I did have a chat with Lieutenant Kalita the other day. Citizens on Patrol has been doing some pretty good stuff there. They, well, they're trying to keep up. They got some guys unloading, I think it was, how did this all go? There's a whole, they got a bunch of people unloading stolen goods out of a trailer they stole from Winagami into that apartment behind the post office there. And so they got busted, they called in His Majesty's troops and they took care of that. Then the next day, he went and rented a U-Haul. Somebody else went and back to that spot to try to load the stuff out of the apartment into the U-Haul. And somebody from Citizens on Patrol saw them, called it in again. And then the next day, they actually got another trailer from somewhere else and they're able to get away with it. But the fact that they're starting to chip away at this a little bit here. So, I mean, public shout out to Citizens on Patrol. You know, the police can't be everywhere, Alan can't be everywhere. Those extra eyes, we're seeing that it works. They're doing a good job, and I know we got the email from Ron this morning. It was pretty frustrating. I get that. I think that the building in question is in the process of being condemned, but it's not an instant process. There's a whole bunch of hoops that we have to jump through. We got to play by the rules, even if the other guys don't. So I just want to publicly acknowledge Citizens on Patrol for, you know, for doing what their mandate sets out to do, doing a good job at it. And that is my report. Moving for information.
All right, any questions, comments? All in favor? Councillor Shishin?
No report? None of my committees.
All right.
I have a question. Did you make the cut on that interview?
No, we haven't heard yet. They said the end of January, February. They said about a month and a half to.
Okay, so with that, we'll take a little break and then we'll move into a closed session, talk about 17.1. Did you come up with the wording to go in closed session on that one? Just so.
No.
Oh, okay, all right. So if you come up with, we got 5 minutes to get which sections to make sure we're quoting the right things to go into that closed session.